Well, happy Monday. It's after a holiday weekend here, and we're still right back here where we are each Monday at 3 p.m. together looking through expired domains. And as I said today, if you're watching on YouTube, the cover image is that of we're dumpster diving. We're digital dumpster diving, which what does that look like? It looks like expired domain names. So back when I was, 16 years old, 17 years old, one of my first jobs was at Office Max, which is an office store. I might have mentioned it at some point in the past. And every once in a while when we would like redo the displays of electronics, we would take all the old electronics and put them out in and around the dumpster. And the kind of unknown was we can go get it after work. We couldn't get it. We couldn't just put it in our cars during work, but we had to go dumpster diving after the fact. And you better believe we did. A bunch of electronics geeks, a bunch of kids. Was fun to be able to, find treasure, play with the different electronics and the different garbage that we can get from this office store. So that's exactly what we look to do here each and every week is look through all these expired domain names, nearly 500,000 of them this week that we're going to filter and search through. And we're going to be looking for the ones that are best set for you and I to develop, turn into a business, turn into a side hustle, turn into some great enterprise. And yeah, if you're here and you're just an investor, you can buy and find a buyer out there that's willing to pay more than what you did. So this is Domain to Profit. It is a great community that will be joining us in chat. So watching us live each week, 3 p.m. is always the best way to go because, well, otherwise you just get Drew speaking. But during the live show, you get the community that we get in chat. So say hi. Make sure everybody knows you're here. If you're over on YouTube, if you're on LinkedIn, you will want to join us on YouTube. That is where the main community is. I'm Drew Wash. It's Domain to Profit. Say hi in the chat. Like, subscribe. See you on the other side of this.
From domain to profit, from a .com to a business idea. Take a domain name, develop an income from domain to profit. We'll show you how. Domain to profit, from domain to profit. Join Drew Wash and get started right now.
Dun, dun. Okay, I had to make sure to get the theme music this week because last week I forgot it because I was dealing with sound issues, which I believe I have taken care of this week. I have other tech issues, but luckily they shouldn't affect us too terribly much today. So if you're here, please let me know. I know that we have a holiday weekend, so we get to spend time with our families and so on. So it may not be the typical crowd. I know you're just watching on Restream. That's okay. Well, I'm trying to get my Windows set up here because we are going to go over to the shared screen. That's for later on. I don't want to share that yet. So later on, I'll be sharing out the domain names I bid on last week. Bid on 111 and it was pulled, so I didn't actually get it. It's one of the things we'll talk about, just something that can happen when you grab stuff out of the trash. I guess sometimes people want it back. I don't know if that's a thing or not. So over on the other screen, what you'll see is expireddomains.net. And let me make sure that shows up because I want to give them their shout out. Expireddomains.net, free tool, allows us to go through all the deleted domains. So if somebody has a domain name, which if you're watching this, chances are you have lots of domain names. And if not, maybe you see the value of them and are like, oh my gosh, let me figure out how to do this better. This being finding good domain names to purchase. Well, expireddomains.net is a free tool, free search of all these different expired domain names. And specifically, what we spend our time on are the marketplace domain names, which is this middle tab here. And yours may look different. It's a free account that you have to set up to be able to use the filters and things. Follow along if it's your first time here. Otherwise, log into your account, get ready to go. We go to marketplace domains, and then we spend our time here typically on the GoDaddy expired domains. So GoDaddy expired domains. And you'll see as of right now, we're at 451,000 domain names that are currently expiring through GoDaddy alone, just alone in GoDaddy. There's many hundreds of thousands others out there. That's a lot of work, right? How do we get through these? Well, we're going to set up some filters. We're going to find the best deals. One of the reasons we go with GoDaddy is over here on the far side, you'll find valuation. We don't use a valuation for anything other than to order the domain names by. That valuation is just pretty much it's them trying to run some data and decide which domains are worth something. The only thing is anybody who kind of does this frequently, me being an expert in domains, nobody actually thinks that's the price. I don't think anyone's ever been like, oh yeah, I got a deal because I got it for less than the $9,000 GoDaddy appraisal, and then somehow they sold it for exactly that amount. And if you do that, you're probably selling yourself short or reaching too much. We'll see. So what we're going to do is set up some filters. Filters being these show filters here. Need to get my energy level up. Let me drop me down into the corner here so I can show you the full screen with these filters here. Okay, so we're going to set up, we look at English words, 1 to 3 words. So we're going to set that up here. You can go with more. The reason why we're looking specifically for 1 to 3 words is those are going to be the ones that are going to be best set for development, because that is what we're looking to do here, folks. We are looking to develop domain names, not just buy some domain names and stick them on a shelf, and then next year when you let them expire, we can look through them again. We don't want to do that. That's a waste. Then we're going to go over here and set up the .com. That's the second tab under filters, additional, set up .com. Then we're also going to get rid of no hyphens. We want no numbers, no hyphens. And that should be all of our filters. I believe it sets it up at 7 of them. And we're going to take it here from 451,000 down to, we should do an over under. We should guess and okay, anyhow. So 68,000 domain names, of which we're only going to make it through, 600. So, maybe we'll maybe get to more than that. Okay, well, I see Matt is calling out the theme music that we have. Yeah, it's metal, sure. Michael's here. Ryan as well. Hey, Ryan, nice to see you here. Ian, nice to see you as well. And we such a good community that we end up getting here. Realistically, right now, I'm feeling a little tired maybe from the weekend. Anybody relate? Busy holiday weekend, running around all over the place. Not enough caffeine this morning yet. We'll take care of that, right? We'll take care of that. Well, let's find some domain names and get the conversation going. So if you see a domain name either come up on my screen or in your own screen that you think we should talk about, feel free to hit me up in the chat. If you see something that I've passed, same thing. I can tell you why I'm passing on it. Specifically, we're looking for domains that we are out to develop, not just a domain name that would look pretty in somebody's portfolio. Those two different things are altogether different. So, for example, this top one right here, cryptoschool.com. Can you build a business on that? Absolutely. I think you probably could. What would I do with cryptoschool.com? What would you do with CryptoSchool? Well, what would you expect to find on cryptoschool.com? Probably some of those basic, some of the basics of crypto. Like most people don't know how to set up a wallet. I certainly did not just a few months ago when I first started to get into it. It's like, how do I set up a crypto? How do I actually buy crypto? How do I transfer crypto? Is it safe for people to know my wallet address? Like that was, I don't know if you've ever had that, but all those different things, all the FAQs. Well, cryptoschool.com for a small monthly fee. You can get all the lessons, go through all the trainings, something along those lines. And you don't even have to be the one that provides the content. I'm sure you could find other people out there that are willing to put up lessons and things like that just for the exposure and to get their name out there. But as you can see, $5,500, it's getting pretty steep for that one right there. So we're going to go over to spyfoo.com, the free tool that we use to look through domain names. And I just want to kind of see what's happening with Crypto School. Crypto School. And Kimberly, I saw you pop in. Not sure if you happy holidays to you as well. I played the theme music today. I was thinking of you because last week I didn't see that you were bummed that I forgot it. Because all those sound issues I was having. So I made sure to hit it. So maybe you'll have to watch it on replay. So 180 people are searching for crypto. I imagine that is, or for Crypto School specifically. There are some there's money being spent, but not necessarily a lot of advertisers. This would have to be a pet project for you. If you are already building a crypto school, then you're going to want this domain name. But if you are just looking for a domain name to turn into something, I'd say Crypto School is a big pass, especially for over $5,000. Not really going to be something I'm looking to do. Any crypto school people out there? I think trainings are a great way to do it. I can recommend some books and things if you're a crypto expert, want to make some money, then Crypto School would be a good place to start. Drenched, probably a good domain name for investment, not something we would talk about here. We are looking for domain names. I came up with some really basic graphic that I was working on that just talks about how a great domain name for development is a domain name that when you say it, it paints a picture in the person that's hearing that domain name. So when I say Crypto School, what do you expect to see on that domain name? Lessons, right? You expect to see something to do with teaching you about crypto. It's Crypto School. How about Drenched? Drenched.com. For some reason, like a wet kitten comes to mind. I don't know why. Like, that's weird. I love little animal videos. But Drenched, like what? Like if you can't get that, if there's not an image that a large community shares, domain name really loses a lot of its power. So we're going to skip over Drenched. Same with motorcycle loans. Is that sure there's a business, an entire niche for that? Well, before I just brush it to the side, let's not just go off of Drew's hunch. Let's go over to SpyFoo. This is why we have this tool where we can say, what am I typing? Okay, here we go. Loans. Maybe this is why we type stuff. This is why, even me, I have some really good domain names in motorcycles. I didn't expect this to actually be a good domain name. So here we go. Motorcycleloans.com, over 2,000 monthly searches are available, estimated by spyfoo.com. Google is saying there's 8,100 searches for motorcycle loans, but the reason why there's less estimated available is because they must have a ton of advertisers, which, yes, they do. Look at this right here. That we love to see this, right? Community, we love to see a huge advertiser number. 18 people are paying to target the keywords motorcycleloans.com. $4 is the cost per click. We've not even clicked on this domain name. Let's see what it's going for right now. These finance domains can sometimes get carried away. 2 days left on the auction, $2,200 currently. With these numbers that we see on SpyFoo, this is probably an $8,000 domain name. So how would we monetize it? That's going to be the question. How would you monetize 2,000 people coming to potentially? Now, you have to work to get those 2,000 people. How do you get those people? If you actually want that traffic, you're going to have to create great content. What kind of content might you create? Well, I'm glad you asked. SpyFu also tells us what content we should create. You and I are domain developers. We're not motorcycle loan experts. I mean, maybe you're a motorcycle loan expert. That would be interesting. But I am certainly not. So SpyFu shows us what people are searching for related to motorcycle loans. So for example, similar keywords, 13,000 people are looking for motorcycle loan calculator. Could you come up with a basic finance calculator to show people how much they pay per month? Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you could find that code for free, a little JavaScript, boom, boom, boom. Now you have a motorcycle loan calculator on motorcycle loan, is it singular or plural? Motorcycleloans.com, you'll have that calculator giving you potentially access to 13,000 more people. You can see these other keywords, rates. You can show the rates. You pick up some of these. So this is some content, right? SpyFu is showing some content that we should put on our domain name. It's not always just clear, but this is really clear. This is a good domain name, it appears, which is why I'd probably say it's going to go for about $8K. How to get a motorcycle loan? Boom, FAQ page right on your site. How do you get a motorcycle loan? That's 720 people searching for that each month. Good content to add. How to get a motorcycle loan with bad credit and no cosigner. How about you don't get a freaking loan, you save up the money and buy your motorcycle for cash, but that's just my opinion. It's also the smart thing to do, but hey. Okay. But they probably wouldn't want to see that answer. Instead, they'd want to figure out how to get in more debt, which we would show them how to do that right here on this page, and so on and so forth. These questions are questions that people are asking about the subject. We do not need to be an expert in any topic. As I've said before, yeah, I own towing.com, but I know very little about towing, especially back when I was the guy that bought towing.com, knew very little about the industry. All I knew was domains and developing them and helping small businesses. And luckily, I was able to use those to make a bunch of money. You can do the same thing if you're going to work hard on motorcycleloans.com. It looks like there's an opportunity here. And you can also kind of go check out some of the other data here. Nothing in particularly great, but that right there, 2,000. That's I like it. So how would you monetize it? Well, we have 18 people, 18 advertisers paying upward of $4 per click. All we have to do is we can either go the route of a pay-per lead type system. That would be find 8 of those people that are willing to pay you for a lead to bid on a loan for a motorcycle. So for example, hey, I'm looking for this amount of money to buy a motorcycle. Voila, you send that information over to these people. They pay you some amount of money, $1, $2 each. And you can make some money that way. I'm not a big fan of that, but that is one of the options that you have, is some kind of affiliate or commission-based type system. You know me, I'm a huge fan of reoccurring revenue. So I want to figure out how we can get to reoccurring revenue. I would much rather make less revenue, but have it be reoccurring. Have it be nice, secure, reoccurring to where I don't have to work for it. I work hard once, build the site out, build some kind of system, and then from there on, the domain name and the system I built create revenue for me ongoing. In this case, you could probably go, there's probably national bank providers, but I'm sure there's locals. So you can always go the local directory model. You can go with the national model, which is a little more difficult to do. You won't have as many people paying you, but you get them to pay you $100, $200, $300 per month to show up on motorcycleloans.com. They're going to ask you, okay, motorcycleloans.com, how do I know you're worth it? Why would I pay you this much money? To which you will reply, well, we're motorcycleloans.com. We offer, we're not really getting much traffic right off the bat. We're here to provide you an opportunity to help your company show up above the others on such a premium domain name that you as an advertiser, as somebody who provides motorcycle loans, you are validated. You get the authority passed on to you because you're going to be one of just the half dozen or 10 companies that are showing up on motorcycleloans.com. You play that validation and authority. Hopefully that allows you to get it to maybe $1,000 a month, or you provide the tools. One option, add some tools to where they can add content to the site for you. So now there's content being added, helping you get more search engine traffic and so on. A lot of different plays that we've talked about, all of them apply to this domain name. It's going to cost you a few $1,000s to get into it. I am going to mark that as a domain name I'm interested in. And I'll just toss a bid up real quick just to, someone beat me to it. Was that you? Who did that? Okay, let's try this again. Been outbid. Going to add to my wait list as well. So there you go, motorcycleloans.com. Pretty good start to things, seeing how that's right off the top. I saw our business on here. So back to expireddomains.net. We're going to spend some time kind of continuing down the list here. And typically I love to have an exact match domain name. And business, of course, business.com, super expensive domain name, worth a fortune. Our business, though, our business, my business, I typically like my business more than our. There might be something there. Look at that, 1996. It's a long time ago for it to be registered. Let's go check what it's at. It's at $1,400. I certainly don't like it for $1,400. It's going to be a big pass for me. I can't. Let me verify, because I've already been proven wrong once. Let's see what shows up for keyword for our business. Yeah, it's pretty much what I expected. Not really much happening there. One poor person paying money to advertise for our business. Somebody searches for our business. I don't know. It sounds more like a brandable domain than anything else. Bathroom suite. What's that one going for? Bathroom suite. Ending tomorrow, going for $355. So if you build bathroom suites, is that a thing? Like bathroom suite? It's like, I once, a buddy that I grew up in this little, is a poor community. But I had a buddy who his dad fixed up a house. And I remember walking into this house and it's like needed to go to the bathroom. And they're like, oh, the bathrooms are on the corner. And I go into this bathroom and it was as big as like my bedroom was. Like it was this giant bathroom. Not sure why it was so giant anyhow. But I think of that when I hear the word bathroom suite. So maybe you're somebody that wants to spend hundreds of square foot on a bathroom. Anyhow, I don't know what that is. That a thing? I'm not even going to search it. Okay. If anybody wants to talk about bathroom suite, we could talk about it. Supplement store. Middle S. It allows me to give you my weekly warning about watch out for the middle S, especially if English is not your first language. You'll find that a lot of domain places, GoDaddy and others, will recommend domain names with a middle S. Supplementstore.com. Great domain name. Supplements store. I mean, it could work. Might be. I'm sure it's worth something. It's just not a big fan. We got to watch that middle S. A lot of times it sneaks in there. So I'm going to skip over it because of that reason. Crypto Video, if you're looking for a cheaper sibling of Crypto School, possibly something there for you. We're digging through the dumpster, digging through the digital domain dumpster. Sales department. So that's a middle S in theory. That's kind of that. In that case, say it out loud. And this is why I think it's a little bit tougher for English as a second language. We typically wouldn't say sale department. It would be sales department. Let's check that out. Let's see what that one's going for. Sales department ends in 3 days, $258 currently. I really don't know what I'm not expecting much. Not expecting much of traffic. Again, 540 is a little higher than what I actually expected. nobody really advertising or anything. I could see salesdepartment.com being more of a brandable type domain name. So something that somebody is building on, building sales tools, building some different ways to help you have maybe a virtual sales department to where maybe you can look bigger than what you are, if that's something you want your company to do. I remember, like, for many years, we tried to look bigger than what we are. We're a very small company. And we thought, oh, we have these great domain names. They represent us and make us look like a giant company. So let's go and we'll act like we're a giant company, and we'll have like phone systems, and we'll make everybody press, digits when they come in and all this other stuff. And then I'm like, let's freaking act our size and actually be a small business. It's not a bad word. Let's keep it going. But a lot of small businesses out there want to seem bigger than what they are. So there you go. Salesdepartment.com could be your way of giving them what they want, giving them tools to appear bigger than what they are, to where maybe they have a sales department, and voila, you have a business, a little bit more of a complicated business than what most, but it would probably be reoccurring, right? Monthly reoccurring, you provide those tools. And yes, Ryan's in here agreeing here. I think the S works with that. Most stores sell more than, that's in regards to supplements store. And I agree, like it's back when we were, on the supplements. Supplements is, I think a lot of times you do say supplements. That one's a tough one. Hey, you know what we can do? Let's go check it out over on SpyFu. I can't spell supplements. There's no way. Got to do a lot of copying and pasting when you are a domain person that can't spell. Okay, well, 900 people actually searching for supplements store, 4 advertisers, $1 or something. And you'll see here, singular, I do believe, I agree with Ryan here that it does seem like it would work. You kind of see that the singular is a little more popular. In this case, I think it can go either way. I would prefer the singular, but looks like the plural would work some. Worth a little bit of money, just maybe not get too carried away with it. Maybe. It won't be getting a bid from me, obviously. I avoid that stuff. I'm not going to be bidding on, sales department's pretty good. I doubt I'll bid on it though. Certainly not bidding on bathroom suites. Used motorbikes. If you bought motorbikes, usemotorbikes.com, you know what they might need is a loan. Let's see what used motorbikes. Do people actually say, let's go. In fact, let's bring up a new tool here. Well, let's go over to trends.google.com. Trends.google.com allows us to look at Google data, people searching over on Google, and we can check to see what they're searching for. So specifically, motorbikes. Motorbikes versus motorcycles. So that right there, that's what you can see right here. Motorcycles kicks the crap out of motorbikes. There is a little bit of search there for motorbikes. So this would be one of those opportunities at a beachhead type domain name. So if you're looking for a domain name, maybe you can't tackle a big expensive domain name like motorcycle loans. Maybe a couple $100 for used motorbikes would allow you to get started in something to where you can build a business, have a little traction, have a domain name that sounds really validating of what you're trying to do. What do you expect to find used motorbikes? What's the painting that happens in your brain? You expect to probably find used motorbikes on the domain name. So that go and do that. Go and provide a way for people to add used motorbikes on the domain name. Don't go and grab all the used motorbikes from around the web and type them in there. We're not in that game. We're not looking for a new job. We are looking to create a system and a way to use this domain name to provide people what they want. So whether you use no code type stuff to just drag this stuff in and do it automatically, or you pay a developer, or my preference is learn a little bit of, like, it won't take much for you to learn some programming to be able to do that. Like one of the first websites that I ever programmed, I was just a front end guy, knew some HTML. So I kind of knew a little bit, knew some HTML, a little bit of JavaScript. But then essentially what I did was I learned over the course of a week some scripting that allows me to connect to a database and present data on the website. There's so much code out there. You just got to be able to copy and paste and know enough to keep yourself out of trouble. At least that's what I think. Oversimplified, but we'll go with it. I think anybody can learn to develop in 3 to 6 months at a level that you would be able to develop a domain name. If you study it, if you do the work, it's not going to hop into your brain. Now, I also think that you can spend 6 months setting up software to be able to program. It depends on how you want to approach it. You can come up with excuses, and we all do this. We should do something. So instead of actually going to do it, we want to learn about it as much as possible. So whether that's why you're here with me, is you're trying to avoid the actual work of developing a domain name, or whatever it is, we try to learn as much as we can. And I promise you, you are going to learn more by doing than you ever would by just Googling it or watching YouTube videos. You have to play along, even if it never sees the light of day. Kind of that first step is try it, do it, experiment with it. And then the next piece is publish it, which there's a lot of stuff that I create, that creators create, that never see the light of day. But step one is actually creating. So I highly encourage you to start that, even if it never makes it. I know Matt, who's often here with us. Yeah, he's here in the chat. He makes a lot of games, gets them most away, and they never see the light of day, but he does the work to do a lot of it. There's something to be said for that. That's better than not creating anything. But the world needs to see it. The world wants to know what you got. RepairMyComputer.com. That one's kind of fun. "44 minutes left. RepairMyComputer.com." So we're up against the clock here, folks. RepairMyComputer.com. Let's see here. 70. Good advertiser quantity. There's a lot of people searching for it or paying to advertise, but they're not very competitive. So there's not much money in this. Typically, if I see double digits on the number of advertisers, I'm all for a domain name. $415. Obviously, the quick choice is a directory of locations that can repair your computer. In most cases, computer repair would be a local service. You can ship your computer someplace, but in most cases, the shipping to and from is going to cost you more than the actual repair. Repair My Computer would be, I would see it as a directory of places to have your laptops and computers repaired. I know there are local stores around that still do it. The question is, can you get them to pay? And there's only 70 searches for that exact thing. I don't know. You can always try it. If it's worth spending less than $1,000 to own RepairMyComputer.com, maybe worth it. I don't know. I'm torn on that one. I would say it's probably worth $500 to build out a directory, see what happens. Charge $10-20. But those, I'm guessing, most of the Geek Squad type places out there aren't making a ton of money. Not too many people, especially with computers being less than $1,000 in many cases. You know how it goes. Less than $1,000, nobody's going to want to spend $400 to repair a computer unless their hard drive crashed and they really freaking need the data. I think most of us have kind of been there. Man, we're a lot of websites or a lot of domain names to chat about here. Healthy posture. Thanks for bringing that up, Ryan. Did not see that one up there. Healthy posture. Let's check it out here. Let's see what people are searching for with it. 270 searches for it. A couple advertisers. Healthy posture, healthy sitting posture. I have horrible posture. So I'm on a sit-stand desk, and I love the standing desk because, well, they allow me to have a little better posture. So let's go back up to healthyposture.com. We'll pull that up, see what it's going for. $165, ending in 3 days. Not bad. If you have a device, if you have a solution, this is probably more of a product type game or a domain name. So we're digging through the digital dumpster for expired domains, Healthy Posture being one of them. I know that they sell. At one point, I bought one of those shoulder braces that kind of pull your shoulders back, whatever. You can sell stuff like that. You can build niche content around Healthy Posture. I can see it. I avoid posture stuff, I avoid product type domain names for the most part. But thanks for bringing that up. That's certainly an option. Let me get back down. Florist Now. I saw that one. I don't know if anybody ever targets florist stuff. That's not a bad domain name. Now is a pretty good ending to a domain or part of it. I like as I talk about, but I also like action. So Florist Now. Divorce specialist. Okay, I'm going to keep moving. I don't like them enough to dig into them. If you think I should, then let me know in the chat. Live music stream. If Vito's on, he may be interested in that one. Live music stream. I believe it's not a bad domain name. Well, let's see. Live music stream. Something about that sounds funny. When I say it, I kind of in my brain have an idea that I know what should be on it, but I don't know if that's actually what people would ever say. Be like stream live music. So here we go. Classical music streamings, SPA live. So there's some keywords there. You could do something with it. If you're already doing something with streaming live music, then maybe that's a good option for you. I don't know. I'm not necessarily interested in it. As I said, we had somebody, Vito, who watches the show from time to time. What was it? Eventstreaming.com, or he got a really good streaming domain name early in, so could be one that he would be interested in. Fresh metal. Weather security. At the end of this page, I'll go review some domains that I bought one last week. As I mentioned, it got pulled back. Pet advisors. Anybody? Is that? I don't know. I've never thought to myself, ooh, you know what I really need for my pets? An advisor. I've thought, I need a freaking trainer for this damn pain in the ass dog, but that's about it. Never an advisor. Political theater. Probably a pretty good blog one. If you did a blog on a lot of domains are good for probably blogs. In that case, you're looking at something where you would do more along the lines of either sponsored posts or advertising as you get your traffic up. Those would be your business models that you'd go with the content. Matt mentions asset owner. I don't know. I don't really like it. It sounds weird. I think we should being an asset owner is better than a bunch of liabilities. People actually search for it, but don't know. I own a couple domain names around that kind of topic, and I can tell you there's really not much happening with the keyword or anything like that. But as you can see, 190 searches. I don't really know it. Like, it doesn't really paint a picture in my brain, though. Let me see. Political theater is relevant to the U.S. over the past 5 years or so. Yes, I mean, the nice thing about that phrase is people use it, right? The news uses it. I hear people all the time say, "Oh, that's just some political theater." Well, there you go. Like, that's what we're looking for, right? Even if it's when I hear it, you can maybe think of what political theater might be. You can see it when you see it in politics. Question is, what do you put on a domain name about it? And then more importantly, how do you make money off of it? So if you're a political person, then sure, you can get it and do a blog, but I don't know, outside of that, not a bad domain. I'm sure that domain name is going to go for something. I prefer to create stuff rather than deal with politics. But if you create a political blog, then so be it. I know somebody who created they had an election-related domain name, and they just went to all the county auditors or election boards and basically put election results. They put election results up on the domain name, and all they were doing was grabbing a bunch of government data, and they ended up getting like a lot of traffic. Like, people were sharing it out and stuff. Gosh, I can't even remember what that domain name was. It wasn't anything spectacular, but they built something on it, and it created some pull. Nowadays, everybody seems to have that. It has a lot of election results on things. So, okay, let me pull up. So now we'll go out to a couple of last week's domain names. Just take a break from the expired domains list. We will come right back to that. But I want to show you a little bit of what was happening last week. Pull this up, drop me down in the corner. Oh yeah, and here you go. Just adding this in. I could do the product play, political theme stuff, bumper stickers and things. I actually created a bumper sticker website as of one point. I think it's on bumperhumor.com. I'm sure it's nothing there anymore, but somebody I know had a good idea for a bumper sticker, and yeah. Okay, so here we are over on my GoDaddy auctions, and I believe these here are the ones that we talked about over the last couple of weeks. You can see, let me see, which one's closed on? So asphalt paving, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, and I did not mention, I did not follow up on that one. That one ended up going for $25,000. And if you recall, that actually had some, when we looked into it on Spy Food, that had some pull to it. So not really shocked by the price, but that is definitely not me. I couldn't get there on that price. I think I was out at a couple $1,000s in. Fat removal, these are domains, by the way, that I did not win. So fat removal went for $3,150. And then truckdriversguide.com. I did win that one. I bought that one for $12. I believe Lee on the show mentioned that during the show and was kind of like, hey, this one's going for $12 or something like that. And that means I was the only bidder. I did win it. However, the existing owner renewed it, and it was pulled from my portfolio. So I did have that one for a brief moment for $12. But yeah. But it's no longer mine. Printshops.com. I did not get an opportunity to actually bid on printshops.com. I meant to. I actually like the domain name, and I probably would have bid more than $2,500, just a little bit. I probably would have been like $3,200 on it. Congratulations to the person that did get it. I think that one's a great one for local services. I haven't been buying that many, so. But there you go. There's some of the domain names that have ended over the last. Let's see if I won anything. No, I've not been buying much. So there we go. There's a look at some of the domain names that did expire over the last couple of weeks that we've talked about that have went up for auction. And you can see, obviously, more and more. I think my wife's pretty happy that I've not been bidding on domain names lately. I am as well. I'm kind of saving up the budget for saving up. That's funny. That's not the case. Saving up is the wrong expression. I am giving my American Express a little bit of a break, probably into the end of the year. A lot of times this time of year, like right at the end of the year, I'll go into a buying spree depending on what's happening with the bank accounts. As you can probably see, that is not happening currently. So the bank account is kind of like, yeah, not happening. So yeah, exactly. Darcy's mentioned like prices are a little bit out of whack. Yeah, and I agree. Like, I think that here's a little bit of theory as far as digital assets, crypto and things. There's a lot of cash in the world, and a lot of it has made its way to crypto, and there's a lot of stuff bouncing around. Reality is going to set in here, in my opinion, in this early quarter, so quarter one of 2022, where people are going to realize they're going to have to pay taxes on stuff. And I'm expecting that next quarter will be a really good time to buy both private party as well as, if you want to get into crypto, do it in a couple months. Don't, like, now would probably be a bad time. It's not like there's anything. If you see something super cheap, then go for it. But you'll see a lot of people making changes for taxes. A lot of times at the end of the year, we will buy domain names because I would much rather have domain names versus cash in my bank account. I'm not a big cash person. I would much rather have my wealth in domain names, which is why I have quite the portfolio of domain names. That is where I guess my wealth would be, is in domain names. I can build them. I can do things with them. It's kind of like somebody that owns a bunch of real estate, except for it's digital real estate. So that is where I put my money just right now. We'll see. In a couple of weeks, I'll probably go on a buying spree, which, of course, when I do that, you'll want to make sure that you have subscribed. And in that case, you'll want to hit the bell. Somebody mentioned, I'm not sure if they're here, but they mentioned that if you subscribe and you actually want to be alerted when I go live, other than just passively, you'll want to hit the bell, which in that case, I think your app or whatnot will alert you when I go live. Otherwise, 3 p.m. on Mondays, I'm always here. Let's head back over to the list. So the question I'm kind of asking myself right now is, do we want to keep going down the list from top to bottom, ordered by GoDaddy's appraisal, most expensive to least expensive, or do we want to go looking for some deals? Let's go looking for some deals. I'm going to go change our filters here in just one moment. And what we are going to look for are the true, we're going to have to go weeding through the dumpster, the digital dumpster of expiring domains, and we're going to look for domain names that are less than $100 ending in the next couple of days, which this week's probably a good time to watch for deals. Everybody's on vacations, everybody's traveling, everybody's paying attention to 1,000 different things. Just because there's holidays doesn't mean domain names stop expiring. So, and Darcy's adding, yeah, hasn't won an auction since late September. I've won stuff. I've bid on stuff. I've even bought stuff, just not a whole lot. Like, it's not as much fun when you don't get the super deals, which I have had some super deals. I probably showed up on that list as well. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Let me pull up. I'm going to share full screen out to, there we go. And I'm going to go back up to the filters. Now what I want to do is change the filters to add a couple different things. We want to go and we want to say we want domain names that are ending in 2 days. So we're doing that there. And then we want to go for the price. I want to see domains that are $100 or less. So now we're going to really see that our list drop down. We're going to see it go from 67,000 probably down to like $7,000 or 6 or 7,000. Over or under? Oh, it's over. It's over. Okay. So now what we've essentially done is really narrowed the field of our domain names down to domains that are bargain domains. So these are going to be domains that, yes, the bots might come in late, they might bid it up, it might still go for thousands and thousands of dollars, but as of right now, these domains are cheap, and these domains are ending soon. So again, bidding strategy: wait till 5 minutes and 10 seconds left, 5 minutes and 5 seconds left. But just before 5 minutes is when you want to place your bid. You will want to add these to your watch list. Don't bid on them yet. Once you bid on them, more people become aware of it. So last minute bidding strategy, that right there is some important information for you. Keep that in mind. Pencildrawings.com. Boom. Like, what a freaking good domain name. This is one of those domains. These last minute domains are domains that are hanging out under the radar. People aren't really seeing them, thinking much about them. This one ends tomorrow, as all of these will. They're going to be ending soon. $58 currently. If you're into art at all, pencildrawings.com sounds like pretty good to me. Since if you're into NFTs and you want real life NFTs, let me zoom in a little bit here. Okay, hey, that live music stream is on the list as well. We must have missed pencildrawings.com originally in the list. I love filtering heavily. You can also add in keywords and things like that. We've talked about that in shows past. When you start to really focus, that's when you're going to find the best domain names for what you're looking to participate in. In this case, we're looking just for deals. But if you're looking for a specific topic, say we wanted to go looking for motorcycle stuff, we already found a good domain name, Motorcycle Loans. I'm sure there's more, and we can go search for those. But for now, we're just looking and focusing on last-minute deals. Domains ending in 2 days or less, $100 max bid. Direct yourself. And Darcy, man, like when we're not buying domains, it's because we're saving up for the best ones, hopefully. That's where I am. I want to buy some quality domain names. I'm trying to be disciplined so I have the capital to buy the perfect domain names for our business model. Instead of, like, I bought like a couple domains for a few $1,000s that they weren't great. I didn't really love them. I'd have to look them up. They're good domains. They're worth the money, obviously. It's just they weren't home runs. When you burn through $10,000 on $5,000 worth of domains, it's kind of like, I need to take a little bit of a slowdown here. Content label. Pharmacy Fresh. So this is true dumpster diving here. So once you kind of get into these, nobody's bidding on them. It might be for a reason. Advanced report, that's a pretty fun one for maybe you do analytics or something like that. That would be a great blog, great personal website. You do an advanced report. So you look into the data, go deeper type of thing. Climate responsibility, another like a climate blog. I don't know if you ever bite your tongue really hard when you're chewing? Over the weekend, I did. Like, I think it was Friday, or actually, I guess it was like Friday, or it might even been Thursday. I freaking gnawed on just bit my tongue so hard. So I don't know if you can hear it. Like, I have to, my tongue is freaking sore as all heck. So I've been trying to let it heal. Oh, there we go. My mother tongue. I don't know what the hell that has to do with anything, but it had tongue in it. It's that whole, once you give your attention to something, boom, it said tongue pops out. press updates. Again, just kind of almost like a news or something. I avoid news. I avoid political domains. Obviously, avoid legal domains. Avoid diet, drug stuff. I don't mind fitness. That's not a bad one. Health is okay. Just certain things I've kind of learned to stay away from. A lot of competition in certain things and a lot of shadiness always happening. We found a couple on the first page. And you might think, oh, the values are going down. These GoDaddy values, it means, yes, things get a little sparse. There's not as good there's not frequently as many quality ones. But let there be no mistake, there are good domain names available that we can find. You just have to go through the trash a little bit. I mean, these domain names, every single one of them was registered by somebody. These are not just random words put on here. Now, they were probably random words that somebody put in and registered. Like sometimes I'm like, what in the world are... we've all made mistakes in our domain names. Sounds like something for backpacking, compact clothing. If you go backpacking, here's a weird thing about me. I seldom wear jeans. I own like 2 pairs of jeans. I always wear khakis because, as you know, I travel quite a bit. In fact, next week I'll be remote for the show. And because I travel so much, jeans take up a lot more space and are heavier in a suitcase than khakis are. So I always wear khakis. I always wear dress pants for that reason. They're more compact. So there you go. I'm guessing backpackers and people like that, they take that into consideration. They want light, compact clothing. So that could be something. I could search into it, but I'm not going to right now. Unless somebody out there is like, oh yeah, compact clothing. That's a whole thing. Unbeatable support. Okay, I'm going to go down this list and then we will call it quits. If you have not, please subscribe to the channel. We're about 20 some subscribers away from 500. Would love if you could make it happen. If you know people, then call them in because I would love to get the 500 subscribers somehow in this week. That would be a nice round number and make me feel like a year or so of streaming here. Although, I say that stuff, and realistically, I just love my peeps. Like, you guys are awesome. I appreciate just being here with me, looking through and diving through the digital dumpster. I like that. I've been liking that. Active pays, nah. Web selects, import vault. That could be something maybe. It sounds like a tool. Sounds like a tool of some sort. Find restoration. Let's go dive into that a little bit. Let's see if there's anything there. I'm guessing there's nothing there. Yeah, Lord. So not really much. However, it sounds like a pretty good brand. So that ends in a day. $12 currently. So say you wanted to, the reason why that one comes to mind specifically is that domain name. I'm always looking for good restoration type domain names, local guys that will come and fix her up things. Well, Find Restoration, it sounds good, right? It doesn't need to be an expensive domain name. It just needs to be a domain name that when you say it, it paints that picture. So when I say findrestoration.com, what do you think of? For me, I think of handymen and people that are that do home restorations. You might think of car restorations. Either way, you can put them both or one or the other on findrestoration.com. And when you tell people and when you call people trying to do that sales thing, like, hey, I would love to see your company on findrestoration.com, at least they know what to expect on that. What do you expect to find on findrestoration.com? Restoration services? Or that's what we're going for. More of a brandable, though. It's not an exact match, obviously, because there's not much keyword search for it. But for $12, try to build it. If you're here today and you're like, I don't have much money, all the domains you always talk about, Drew, are always so expensive, and I'm just looking for a little side hustle, something like that. There's your opportunity, right? That's why we're doing this. That's why we're spending this time looking at some of these. You don't need the expensive one. You can start off with something cheap. Say you get that one for $200 or less, and then you build out a directory with restoration services, and then you call some people and be like, hey, I want to feature you in the Cincinnati area. I want to feature you in San Diego area as on findrestoration.com, and boom, you will find people that want to separate themselves from the crowd, and findrestoration.com and the website that you can or will build could be the way that they could do that, and they're willing to pay money for it. There's value in that. There's value in just participating. That's why we even look at these. That's why domains matter. It's why brands and things like it's all the same thing. We're just looking for a way to separate ourselves, to step out from the crowd. Drug abuse effects. Okay. There we go. There we go. Well, let's kind of summarize real quick through some of the ones we just talked about. Find Restorations. I'm going to drop me down to the corner here. Findrestoration.com was one of the ones we talked about. Pencildrawings.com. Those are the two that we mentioned from the bargain basement dumpster diving that we just did. Then we also had live music stream, $85. All of those ending within 2 days. We have healthyposture.com. I believe Ryan mentioned that one and brought that one up to us. That one's going for $165. Repair My Computer, Use Motorbikes, salesdepartment.com, bathroomsuite.com, ourbusiness.com, motorcycleloans.com is the big one that we saw that looks to be some great traffic and possibility with it. I am in on it. Bid me up if you want, or you can always DM me if you're going to get in on that. I do like that domain name. And then cryptoschools.com, we talked about a business possibly up on that. Those are the domain names that we pulled together this week on Domain to Profit. So what do you got? What did you register lately? That's one of the things we need to actually ask. I'm very curious. So tweet at me. Let me know what domain names you've purchased lately to develop. What are you developing? Here we are at the end of the year. We're at the end of 2021, and we've been at this the entire year. So whether you found the show recently or you've been with me the full year, certainly you have a domain name that's at the back of the portfolio, or maybe it's something you've recently registered to develop. What can you do? What can you do to make sure that that domain name does not end up in your portfolio, not developed by the end of next year? Let's develop some domain names. It is certainly one of my goals this next year is to pull these off. I want to do it this year, and I've made headway, but ultimately I had to come back to the primary business and shore up some things. But developing domain names, we're out to do it. Let's get some domains developed. What do we got? Yeah, we got 2022 will be the next time we're talking. It'll be the first week I'll be down in Florida. And Darcy here mentioning I should make a Discord. I've heard this from several people. I don't know about Discord. I use it for NFT stuff, and I honestly don't like it. I don't like the fact that that all that content is out there. It's not maybe. I do agree that it would be nice to have some topical threads and things, Darcy. I just don't want to spend more time on the management of a community than what. So maybe as long as you and maybe a couple others are willing to moderate a bit, then sure, maybe we can do a Discord community. I'm hesitant because I know how much time I've wasted on NFTs and stuff because of Discord. I'm really not wanting. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not saying no. I'm just saying I'm going to think about it a little bit more. Because I would love to chat with everybody and have more in-depth conversations ongoing. I would really like it to be on a domain name instead of on Discord. That's one of the things that drives me nuts. It's like we have these great domain names. Like, how can we get the community on our domain rather than all that content and stuff, everything being over on Discord? So there we go. Okay. Well, there we go. That is Domain to Profit for December 27th. If you're here with me live with Darcy, Ryan, Kimberly, Matt, Ian, Michael, all of you, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for everybody who has watched this year. It has always been a blast. I do this each and every week for our small community because I love domain names, and I would love to see you develop and do some great things. And next year, please let me know what you've done. Let's set some great goals for the next year and then accomplish them. So next week I'll be remote, and the entire reason I will be remote is because my wife and I are going out of town to kind of think about the goals and to plan our oncoming year. Hopefully you do as well. Spend some time doing that. Performancecalendar.com is that free calendar. We're going to use that to plan our year. It's a free tool that I provide, a free worksheet. I know Lee showed me that he was using it. So something I've designed helps me. Hopefully it helps you as well. And Happy New Year to Kimberly as well. Thank you so much, Michael, everybody. Take care. I'm Drew Wash. This is Domain to Profit. See you in the new year.